Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Just So I am playing Final Fantasy XIV. Last episode we did even more post-Moogle stuff, and today we're going to continue doing even more post-Moogle stuff, although we are definitely getting really close to the end of this. Oh boy. Well met once again then, since you've been such an obeisant assistant, I've got a reward for you, Kupo. No drunkards and ruffians to contend with this time, just rest and relaxation. Tell me then, what comes to mind when you think of Lim Salaminta? After pirates, wharf rats, and watered down grog, that is. Fish, Kupo! And there's nobody fish here, and I mean that in the nicest sense of the word, than Wawalago, the master of the Fisherman's Guild. Wawalago's been pitting his wits against the slipperiest fish in the 5 seas for longer than anyone can remember. Why, he's not unlike a fish himself, drifting along in the stream of life without a care in the world. So I thought it'd be nice if you went down and got to know him. Lay down your weapons, put aside your worries, and take it easy for once. Oh, and while you're at it, you can take along this letter. I mean, you're going there either way, right? It's like catching 2 fish with one lure. Lynn, the very vassal I was looking for. Kupo, I need you to take this letter to Eugenia's Spire in the North Stride. The wood where your dear leader, that's me, was born and raised. It needs to be delivered to Mia Molcott, leader of the White Rams. Officially, they're an offshoot of the God's River, but in practice, they're Miss Molcott's private army. The Ixal call her the Black Cat. Whenever she crosses their path, they're sure to meet with an unfortunate end, Kupo. Truth be told, this isn't the first time we've tried to deliver this letter. I entrusted it to another subordinate of mine, a delivery mogul, on his very first mission, but he got chased away by the birdman and floated back, hiding his face under his pom-pom. He simply wasn't cut out for such a trying task, but who is, I thought, who best to dispatch into Ixal-infested forest? Into Ixal-infested forest, and explain the letter's lateness to the fiery-tempered Miss Molcott. Guess whose name sprang to mind? Here's the letter. Then, off you pop, Kupo. Let's first go and get this one going. Watermelon. Some of these freaking names are so good. Why make a good sounding name when you can just make a joke name? I can appreciate that. Anyway, Wawalago. Come to meet the master of the Fisherman's Guild, then I am the one you want. Wawalago at your service. You say you're a practicing post person with a message marked for me? Let's have a look at this letter then. A missive addressed to Guildmaster Wawalago from Ulda Merchant Roro Chuja or something? A missive from my old mate Roro Jaru. He's a trinket trader from Ulda who supplies a certain something that supports and strengthens seafood stocks. Since we set some of his special supporters on the seabed, Fisherman's Bottom's been swimming with shrimp and groaning with gobbies. I'd heard neither hide nor hair from him since the calamity hit. It's heartening indeed to know that he's hale and hearty. And it seems the old dog's still desperate to do deals. Says he wants to trade one of his treasures for an infrequently found fish. Business must be bad if he's bartering his best brass for a bass. Anyway, perhaps you could do me a favor while I ready my rod. Roro Jaru's boat should be berthed down by the docks. Could you head over and hand him this note? I've marked out a map of where this fish he fancies can be found. Tell him to meet me there, and we'll do the deal. I find it really annoying that, like, I've been running constantly into either Lalafell or women. The 2 types of voices which just ruin my freaking voice. Right, anyway. Oh no! Anyway. Hello. Good gods, must the sea be so damned wavy, my stomach's churning and my legs are like jelly. And don't get me started on my poor old back. Thal knows how I'm going to haul this blasted crate all the way to the Fisherman's Guild. Oh, you ever got a letter from me? I do. Well, I'll be. Wawalago's agreed to my offer. I knew he wouldn't let me down. I could feel it in my bones. Looks like my luck's finally turned. By this time next year, I'll be a gillionaire. Oh, but look at me, getting all carried away. I haven't even introduced myself. Roro Jaru, purveyor of the finest silks and the most exotic perfumes and the rarest curiosities in all of Ulda. At least I was, until the calamity took all that away from me. My whole warehouse went up in smoke, and my fortune with it. I tried everything to get my foot back on the ladder, but I was cheated at every turn, lumbered with dodgy gil, and ended up getting deeper and deeper into debt. And now, all that's left are the clothes in my aching back and this rotten box. I was just about to declare myself bankrupt, but then I got wind of a tasty tidbit of gossip that set my business brain in motion. There's this fellow in Ulda, you see, a real grandee. I knew him back when I was someone who knew people. Pfft. well, somewhere with new people. Turns out he's got a thing for exotic fish, and he'll pay what? He'll pay through the snout for anything suitably rare. That's when I thought of Wabalaga. He's the greatest fisherman in Limsa Laminsa, and an old friend to boot. Plus, he's the one who appreciates the true value of the thing I've got in my box. I haven't the gill or the skill to bag the kind of fish I need without him. Nor do I have the legs or the back to lug this chest all the way to Candlekeep Key. But say, you're some sort of delivery woman, right? Could you help a fella out? I can't pay you anything now, but I'll remember you when I'm rolling it in. Alright, Roger's chest. And off we go to Candlekeep Key. The words, property of Rorajura, open under penalty of death, have been scrawled multiple times on each of the crate's 6 sides. Thanks awfully for carrying the chest for me, Missy. Don't know what I'd have done without you. Actually, I do. When I turned up empty-handed, Wawalaga forced me to start fishing myself. If you're short of something to swap, you'll snare the scaly specimen solo, he said. Let's have a look at the gift you've got me. Blinking barnacles, this is beautiful. See it shine and shimmer, like the silvery scales of a sea serpent. The fish will flock to bask in the brilliance of a natty knick-knack like this. Hehe, I knew it. The pawnbrokers wouldn't trade it for toffee, but to a massive fisherman, my supporter's worth more than money can buy. So, do we have a deal? Can I put the rod now? Can I put down the rod now? Fine, I'll fetch your fish for you. The rarefied ray in the Rotano. Subject to you shoring up the shortfall in the settlement with a little light labor, that is. Catch me a carp, or a collie, or any form of fish you can find, and I'll honor your order. The shortfall? You mean the support is not enough? Then I'm ruined. I was sitting here for ages, and I didn't even get a nibble. There's no fish to be found in this accursed ocean. I dare to differ, my friend. There's shoals and shoals of scaly swimmers in the sea around you. Your foray into fishing floundered cause. Jesus. There's nothing but numbers in that noggin of yours. Clear your conscience of all those money-making machinations and mellow your mind. Then the buggers will bite. But we can't dally here all day. There's duties to be doing down at the guild, so I'll lay down a little limitation. Our dear delivery woman here will catch me a catch of her very own. If you've not netted a solitary specimen by the time she's tackled this task, the deal's as dead as a deviled dodo. So if I don't catch a fish before she does, I go home with nothing? Then it's all over. Good gods, I'll be beggared. The banks will touch me with a barge pole. There you go, worrying over wealth again. If you're duly determined to procure this prize perch of yours, then ready your rod, banish that brooding from your brain and focus only on the fun of fishing. Then if you'd be so obliging, I'd like you to acquire me an anchovy. A local Laminsan one will fill the bill. They're common on this coast, so it shouldn't be a struggle to secure. Snatch one straight from the sea or procure it from a purveyor. It's up to you. This is really annoying. I don't have my fisher. So I guess I'll just go to Limsa and fucking buy one from the market board, I guess. Imagine this is being ridiculously expensive. I can't wait. I cannot wait. Like, what the hell is happening in Limsa? Every single time I enter Limsa, I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Right. Lominson. Anchovy. Sure, I can take that. Whatever. That's not that expensive. To the Motorby Dry Docks we go. Whoa! More like, oh, whoa! When you've acquired your anchovy, bring it here to me. It's up to you how to harvest it. Whisk one from the oasis with your willowy wand, or meet with a monger and pick one up for peanuts. Whatever, boys about. This dude makes a lot of puns. Time's up, Rorojaru, sorry, Jesus. Our dutiful delivery girl has completed her commission, and you still haven't snagged a single sprat. I'm sorry, but the deal's dead. No! I've lost everything. My fortune, my future. I might as well lie down here and die like a dog. Really, Rorojaru? What have you actually lost? Dwell not on the money and misery, but rather widen your eyes to the wonders of the world. Like just now, when you were focused on nothing but the fish. How did it feel? It was wonderful. For a minute there, I really felt like I was one with the ocean. All my material worries just washed away. But a fat lot of good. It did me. Didn't catch a bleeding thing. Heh. Your financial feelings might have been mildly misplaced, but you've been a trader too long to fully feel your feelings from the constant contemplation of coin. That's why the fish didn't bite. But still, if you drew some sense of satisfaction from it, I suppose that's a start. Holy mackerel, I mean, holy catfish, that isn't a saltwater catfish, is it? I thought they were extinct. Oh, if only my client could see this, I'd get a sultan's ransom for it. Aye, sure as the sun, that's a saltwater catfish. There's some essay the species snuffed it in a calamity, but I'd heard word they were hiding here in Canakeep Key. Seems the rumors were right. Take it, Rorojaru. Consider it a prize for your persistence. Do with it what you will. Oh wait, Walwalago, what about your payment? Aren't you going to take my supporter? The shiny sorts the fish go crazy for? The star-spangled subligar? Oh, those? I've got hundreds of them at home. Just remember, Rorojaru, don't drag yourself down. Brooding over business, free your mind from fretting over your fortune and your future, and try to think like a fish. But if that still doesn't solve your sorrows, never forget that you'll always find friends at the Fisherman's Guild. However hard things seem, however low you go, when you think like a fish, your distress and disquiet just drifts away on the tide. Or so Walago planning to give me the fish all along. Gods, the man's a bleeding marvel. I don't deserve a friend like him. You know, it's a tough life being a trader. You can't think like a fish when you're swimming with sharks and you'll get gobbled up. Closes your mind to anything but coin it does. But whenever I deal with Walago, I feel liberated. Like a great burden's been lifted from my heart. If I could only live as he does. I've had my fill of dealing with crooks and swindlers. Spending every waking moment obsessed over my blank balance. And agonizing over who's going to steal it from me. It's time I made a change. Rorojaru, fuck this name. Return to saltwater catfish to the ocean. I'll throw it all away and start again from scratch at the Fisherman's Guild. Here, Lin, I hereby entrust to you the entirety of the great Rorojaru's estate. The brilliant briefs no fish can resist. Wawalago, jeez. Says the fish take energy from its shining scales and copy after them. Helps them grow big and strong and happy. I never knew it before, but it's the same with people. If I am to learn to live like a fish and set myself free, I need no supporters but Wawalago. As we get the star-spangled subligar. Yay. Well, it's a gathering thing though. Pfft. If anything, it's a piece of equipment for when I unlock gatherers. Level up. Right. To the Black Shroud. Ba, 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 ba. Ba, ba. Oh. I do know you. You seek me, Malkat? I am she, instructor of the God's Quiver, commander of the White Rams, and bane of any feathered fiends who dare poke his beak in the Throstwood. I know you. We've spoken before, have we not? I trust you have bagged a few birdies of your own since last we met. Lin, is it? What business do you have with Meow? Oh, I forgot about that. Apologies, a slip of the tongue. When I say with Meow, I mean with Meow. Not Meow, Meow. Bah! What do you want? Let me see. Oh, how wonderful. It's a letter from Lady Philota. The woman is like a mother to me, you see. I lost my parents when I was young, and it was she who raised me from a mewling babe. Her son was a great hero, and later to White Rams before me, but he too was lost in the line of duty. Ah, but let me see what news she has. She says she used to visit Falcourt float with her dear grandson. But by the date she gives, she should be here at this very moment. Strange that I have had no word of their arrival. Perhaps she simply misread her calendar. After all, she speaks to the future, but these dates are past. Tell me, adventurer, when was the letter posted? Ah, damn those incompetent moguls never trust anything with wings, I say. Then these dates must be true. They should be here already. I smell the filthy hands of those blasted birdies in this. It must send out a search party. If they came via Gridania, might have been ambushed in Treespeak. A band of exile raid the area, but they're usually too chicken-hearted to approach the paths. I have a sentry there watching their movements. Go to him and ask him if he has seen anything. Toward. Oh, and if you should happen to meet with any wee birdies, none shall weep if you snap their scrawny beaks. Or their scrawny necks. Whatever. She's scary, bro. Right. There we go. Ixal Strongwind. Squawk mine you are. Bonk it. There we go. I was about to say, is that thing seriously attacking me? But no, it was not. Squawk! Wounded federalist ones you seek. Find them, my axe will. Hold it right there, you squawking scum. Squawk, good Garuda. Me a Molcot you are, black cat of the white rams. My life you will spare, yes? Squawk? You'll get no mercy from me. I'll rake you off your beak and wear it as a hat. Remember our motto, soldiers? All exile must die. Hold a moment, ma'am. Before I was set upon, I was watching this group of exile for some time. They seem to be patrolling this area. Perhaps he knows something of what befell Lady Philota and her grandson. Yeah, alright, I'll bite. Listen up, you biggie bastard. Answer me truly and I'll grant you a painless death. Have you seen a lady and a young boy pass through this area? Squawk, searching for white-haired elder and girly-voiced hatchling federal ones are. Seen them, I have. Attacked by a nasty beastie their caravan was. Ran from the beastie they did, all frighty and shaking. Ah, you lie. The only beasts around here that would think of raiding a caravan are you and your craven kind. No, Black Cat. Only the truth I am telling, worth more than mine. These Federlands one's lives are. Then maybe a deal we are making. My life you spare, you Federalist friends I catch. Release them to you, we will. Scratchless and sound. A deal we have? Catch them. And then hold them as hostages, no doubt. I say we kill the feathered fool right now and teach these exile a lesson, right, Lynn? Rip his beak off. There must be some good and they must agree to a deal. There's no good in a birdman, just blood and bile, believe me, I've checked. But mayhaps you're right. We have a little to lose by releasing this wretch, and possibly much to gain. Alright, Beaky, if you truly swear that you will return our friends to us unharmed, we agree to your deal. Squawk, spared I am by Molcot the Merciless? Believe it, I cannot. Well, known to our kind your cruelty is, and yet walk free I do. Then on my honor, my word you have. With my headwing I shall speak. Your smooth and wrinkly friends, together we will catch. Send word we will. Come to the river, bent northeast and northwest of here, and your friends we shall return. I despise listening to the feather-brained prattle. The fool knows nothing, except how to delay his death with false promises. Still, I would have you follow him to this headwing, just to be sure. We shall return to the spire to see if the other parties have met with more success. Goodbye. Sayonara, as they say. Squawk come to play the Black Cat's dog has. For his life the sniveling wretch begged, no twigs or that one is, by my own talents punished he shall be. His graven promises never will be honored. But to what I say now, listen well, Federalist one. Our hostages, your friends are. The old one and the young. See them again you would? Then do my bidding you shall. Within your borders we search, unharmed and unhindered, you will leave us. When done we are. And only then the hostages we shall release. We lie, you think, then the truth we prove. Set free the wrinkled one will be. Across the river you will find her, on the cliffs over Falkwood Flood. A lasting truce with you we seek not. Pains me it does, to show mercy to the hated Molcott. But our reasons we have, and our promises we will honor, if the Black Cat will do the same. Good eve, adventure. My name is Philota. Would you happen to be the young lady sent by Mia Molcott? Then I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I was traveling with my young grandson from Gardania, and as we made our way through Treespeak, we were set upon by an angered treant, and our carriage was overturned. My grandson and I managed to escape, but we were separated from our guard. We fled into the forest, seeking shelter, but only found a nest of ixal. They captured us and bound our hands with rough twine. I feared we were to be offered to their god. Imagine my relief when I overheard them speaking of us not as sacrifices, but as hostages. But then, without a word of warning, I was released. They marched me here, removed my blindfold, and bade me wait for Mia's envoy to collect me. I thank you, adventurer, but my grandson, is he still in the Bertman's clutches? You must send word to Mia right away. I pray you, adventurer, return to Mia and relate to her all that I have told you. If anyone can save my grandson, it is she. Please, do not worry about me. I can make my way to Falgord Float from here. The guards will protect me. Pop. Back to Mia we go. My lady. Lady Philota is safe, thank the gods. What of her grandson? Was he released too? No. What, they plan to hold the boy hostage to keep my claws from the craven necks? Their skullduggery knows no bounds. They say they will release the child when they have found something. I spit on their lies. They seek nothing but our land, and would use the boy as a shield to secure their trespass. Nafika as my witness, they shall gain nothing but their deaths. The birdies have picked on the wrong prey this time. The boy is the only child of Lady Philota's late son. Once the leader of the White Rams, Once the leader of the White Rams, I see. We are honor bound to free him from their filthy claws. They'll rue the day they ever thought of laying their hands on one of us. You can tell Lady Philota that Mia Molcott will not rest until her grandson is safely returned, and the rills run red with Birdman blood. Go to the Bobbing Cork and tell her just that. Whatever. I really want to finish all this freaking quest line today, and then I'm done with recording for today. I just want to be done with this. The next thing I'm gonna do after this is gonna be the Crystal Tower. So, Mia plans to rescue my grandson herself. That is the best news I could hope to hear. I cannot thank you enough for your assistance in this matter, young lady. I've known Mia since she was but a mewling babe, and believe me when I say that I have full confidence she shall devote every energy to rescuing my grandson. If anyone can rescue him from those boots, Mia can. Near 20 years have passed since the day we first met. Back when my son was still the leader of the White Rams, before he was taken from us. A report came in that a settlement was under Ixali attack, and he raced to its defense. By the time he and his men arrived, the Ixal had already captured the village. My son refused to abandon it to their clutches, and led a daring attempt to rescue the villagers. He finally succeeded in expelling the invaders, but their deadly work was done. Only one child emerged alive from the ruins, Mia. My son took the orphaned girl under his wing and taught her bowmanship. She came to idolize him as a master, and perhaps as a father, but now she is twice orphaned, and the Ixal hold her master's only son as a hostage. I can well understand her fury. But this anger of hers, I fear it may cloud her judgment in this case and drive her to recklessness. I pray you, young lady, return to her and urge her not to be too rash in her plans. I cannot live it myself, or my grandson's safety to be bought with friendly blood. And back we go to something else. Lady Philota said that, even with her grandson held captive by the Birdmen, she worries for the safety of our soldiers? Truly, the lady's consideration knows no bounds. But I fear the time for restraint is past. It sickens me to sit by while the Birdmen prowl our forests, using one of our own as a shield. The band has just been sighted from this very spire and moving northwards. Do you realize what that means? The dissembling birdies return to their logging grounds, with Lady Philota's grandson in tow. So much for their honor and honesty. We must pounce now, before they escape through Proud Creek and... Well? Hold a moment, I have words from my scouts, yes? You have them in your sights. Then on my order, unleash What? They sent a messenger. They say they found that what they were looking for and will release the hostage immediately? Understood. Over and out. Did you hear that, Lynn? The birdmen say that they have released the boy, but in Proud Creek of all places, why he would almost be safer in their evil clutches. You must go there straight away and find the child before something wickeder does. Are you a friend of Miss Malcott's? Thank you so much for coming to rescue me. Oh yes, I'm quite alright. They didn't hurt me. Only my pride. Such a fool stumbling straight into that exotic camp. I'm sorry for causing everyone to go to such trouble to rescue me. Mia wouldn't have let herself be caught so easily, nor would my father. I'm just thankful the Ixal were true to their word. I've heard some of what they were discussing. It seems they were searching for a hatchling of theirs, the young of a chieftain who had disappeared from his nest. They had followed his trail into Treespeak. They were readying forces to launch an invasion to recover the child, knowing it would lead to all-out war with Gridania. But then they somehow learned of mine and Grandmama's survival, and resolved to kidnap us instead, to secure the truce that would allow a rescue party to search unhindered. But there is something I don't understand. When the leader of the Ixal cut my bonds, he whispered something strange to me. His promise your father kept, and so the same I shall do. And then they were gone. Young master, how good it is to find you safe is all amiss. The Ixal were on the search for a hatchling, so then they were not raiders but rescuers. We must report these developments to Commander Molcott immediately. Let us rendezvous back at Eugenia's Spire. Come, child, follow me. How long is this freaking quest? Holy crap. Please, miss, you have to stop her. The commander means to harry the Ixali retreat and strike them all down. And he would stop me? Have you forgotten our motto? All exile must die. I know, but please, ma'am, I beg you to reconsider. This was not an invasion, it was a rescue mission. They were searching for a lost hatchling. And after all, they did keep their promise. They released the boy. Surely it is only right that we should honor our side of the agreement and allow them to leave. What agreement? Those were their conditions, and only they and they only had the nerve to give them because they were holding the poor boy hostage. They invade our land, steal our children, and you would show them mercy? The only peace they'll get from me is that of the grave. Miss, you must help me. Go to the bombing cork and bring Lady Philota. She's the only one Commander Molcott will listen to. There's something that bothers me about all this. It's what the Ixali chieftain said. Something of promises kept in years long past. If anyone knows what he meant by that, Lady Philota will. My grandson is safe. Thank you, Adventure. 1,000 times thank you. How can I possibly repay you for all you have done for my family? I see. It appears the situation is more complicated than we first thought. The Ixal that took us were a rescue team, and now Mia plans to attack them in their retreat. And the hatchling with them, and only I can stop her. Perhaps I can, for I indeed have some knowledge of this promise the Ixal spoke of. How strange that their fate should be brought together again like this, yet elementals work in mysterious ways. Very well, I will talk to Mia. I will talk with Mia. Would it be too much to ask you to do me a further kindness? Run ahead to Eugenia's Spire and delay her from taking any drastic actions. I will join you as soon as I can. The path is steep, and I'm afraid I'm not as young as I once was. Alright, you're the last of them. Join up with the forward squadron and begin the attack. The poor wee birdies won't know what hit him. Stop! You have violated the law. What is it, adventurer? Don't tell me you object to my attack as well. And so do I, Mia. Grandmama. Yes. Dude. Lady Philota, what are you doing here? You've been through so much at the Closet Birdman. You need to rest. As do you, Mia, there's a story you must needs hear. A story begun long ago, but not yet concluded. A story? What story? A tale from long ago when my son led the White Rams as you do now. A time when we found ourselves caught in the same snare as the Ixal did this day. As if reflected in a glass. There was a young girl trapped behind the Ixali lines. The White Rams put together a rescue team to save her and prepared to strike at the heart of the enemy. The Ixal were surrounded, and their defenses were strong. All hope seemed lost. Until, quite by chance, a separate raid led to the capture of several Ixali hatchlings, abandoned in their nests, so both sides came to hold the younglings as hostages. Threat was answered with counter-threats, and both sides prepared for a bloody resolution. Until my son reached out to the Ixal, he offered them a truce and a promise. He would return their hatchling if the Ixal would withdraw and spare the child. Tell me, my dear, what was it the Ixali chieftain said to you? That your father kept his promise, and so he would keep his in return? It can only be the will of the elementals that brought such a fate to pass. There can be no doubt. That chieftain was one of the Ixali hatchlings my son released that day. It was my son's promise that lifted the siege on the village and saved the child, a young Mikote girl, with an ink-black coat and shining eyes. My master bought my life with this? After 20 long years, the thread of destiny that entwined on that fateful day have brought you together once more. Whether you sever those ties or now or tie them stronger, only your heart can decide. To be bound to an Ixal or to cut myself free. Alright, soldiers. Call off the attack, send word to the vanguard. They are to escort the Ixal off our lands, but under no circumstances are the birdmen to be fired upon. Anyone foolish enough to disobey will answer to me. But Commander, what about our motto? All Ixal must die. Oh, they'll die alright. The minute they step their filthy feet back into Twellswood, I'll snap their twiggy wee necks and lap up their blood. Every chuckling last one. Or cluckling last one. Ma'am, yes ma'am! Yes. I did not want to push my claws into their beady little eyes. I did so want to push my claws into their beady little eyes, but it's not for me to put an end to what my master began. Lynn, you came to me with a letter, but in the end you brought me something far more important. True compassion. The legacy of my master that I was far too quick to forget. There's only one thing I can say. Thank Meow. This fucking Meow shit. I swear to God! I think this is one of, if not the only character I've met in this game that does this. It's interesting. Alright. I should be relatively close to the end of this quest line. At least I hope I am. Because my voice is not gonna last much longer. Oh, for the love of God. Hold up. Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. Hold up. Hold it up! Let me go and check something for a second. Okay, yeah. Oh boy, fuck me. There's still 5 more quests. Alright, my friends. Off we go. I'm not gonna finish this, by the way. I'm gonna finish this episode and that's gonna be all I'm gonna do. Oh, Lynn, dear Lynn, my unfortunate assistant. I'm afraid that something rather awkward has come up. And I'm going to have to drop it right into your lap, Koopa. It's an urgent epistle from Bango Zango, Vice Chair of the Brugair Consortium. And to Bango Zango must it be returned. It was to be delivered to one Jijiroon, a Kikiran who runs a trading post on the shores of Bronze Lake, but when I got there, the slippery devil was nowhere to be found. To make matters worse, he neglected to leave a forwarding address, Koopa. I was going to break the news to Master Zango myself, but who am I to deny an up-and-coming delivery aura such a valuable experience? It's not often our service fails in its duties, so you'll have to be at your psychomphatic, that's a word, best if he is to accept your apology. You find Mr. Zango just around the corner, in the Octant. Good luck, Lynn. The reputation of the Moogle delivery system rests on your shoulders, Koopa. I'm gonna get this next quest, and then I'm just going to stop recording. That's not gonna be the end of the episode. I can stop recording because I can't speak anymore. Knowledge, my dear assistant, is a gift that keeps on giving. I've got letters today for a fellow who embodies that notion, Professor Lambertaint, Kupo. He's an authority on ether, known for his passion and absent-mindedness. Jeez. I'm sure you've heard of him. Lately, everyone is talking about his theories. Now, such a renowned scholar has many students, and these letters come from his best and brightest. So your task, my friend, is to deliver the mail to Lambertaint in Camp Drybones. Make sure to get it there promptly, as a good postman should. Kupo. Anyway, my friends, for me, this is going to be the end of my recording session, but for you guys, I will be back in a moment. And I'm back. I was basically almost did my intro. Let's go and continue doing our quest, shall we? Yes, I am Bango Zango, second chair of the Bulgarian Consortium. And who are you, pray tell? If you have business with me, you'll need to make an appointment with my... What? My letter's been returned to sender. Not known at his address, god damn it, I should never have trusted that double-dealing Kikirn. The minute I threatened to call in his debts, the blasted rat does a moonlight flit. Forgive my outburst, it's Chijiroon I'm angry with, not you. He borrowed a sizable sum from the consortium, but he's fallen behind on his repayments. This letter was to be our final demand. Sad to say, it seems the wretch has taken the money and ran. It's a sorry state for a once shrewd trader to find himself in. He was the first to set up a trading post in Upper Lanosh after the calamity. Straddled to the fence between everyone from the kobolds to the maelstrom, and raking in a pretty packet from all sides. He ran it with his brother, Memoroon, but they had a falling out some years back, a disagreement about the direction of business. Or so they say. Whatever the reason, it led to Memoroon striking out on his own and setting up his own little trading post in Oakwood. They've been rivals ever since. Perhaps that's when the rot set in. Memoroon's fortunes have gone from strength to strength, but Jijiroon, well, the only thing he's gained in the past few years is a never-increasing mountain of debt. I had every confidence he would turn it around, but it seems my faith was misplaced. And what faith it was. Were he to default on this loan, it would have serious implications for the consortium's finances. I need you to do me a favor, adventurer. Return to Upper Lanosh and collar this rat for me. Maybe his brother has some idea where he has scurried off to. Okay. That is Lambertaint. That's a different dude. I love saying. The thing is, like, are you supposed to say it as Lambertaint? Or Lambertain, I think. Because you're probably not supposed to... You're probably not supposed to pronounce the T in this, but it's still so fucking weird. Whenever I read it, it's always like Lambertaint. But maybe that's the joke, you know, the fact that he has this name. Because it's kind of a joke character to begin with. At least in the main quest. It could be that there's some deeper meaning within all these things. Welcome, customer. Customer, welcome to shop at Memoroon's shop. Memoroon's brother causing bother? Run away with shiny shinies? Memoroon, no. Where Jijiroon go? Memoroon and Jijiroon always fight. Never talking talk. Memoroon keep to Memoroon's side, and keep away from Jijiroon's side. Memoroon worked for a long time at Jijiroon's shop. Long time ago. Memoroon good spot for a new shop. But Jijiroon say he wants to put in Jijiroon's shop spot. Move here, Memoroon says. But Jijiroon no one to hear, and no one to move. Quarrelsome Jijiroon quarrel with Memoroon. Go away, he say. So away, Memoroon go. Memoroon moved to new place and set up new shop. Never ever talking with Jijiroon ever since. Everyone cross with Jijiroon. Everyone think Jijiroon cross everyone. Jijiroon need help, and help Memoroon help. And helpful Memoroon help, Jesus. Look in Jijiroon's shop. Jijiroon leave shop, but maybe he leave hints. And he leave hints, that hint where Jijiroon go. Jesus. Oh, I forgot that we had this thing. It's apparently a good thing to fish with, just in general fish. Good fishing material. What's your business, eh, darling? Bango Zango sent you over to look for a missing trader. Same here. Seems a consortium ain't taking no chances when it comes to tracking down this Jijiroon character. What say you work together then, lass? I put the shakes on the shopkeep over yonder already. He don't got a glimmer where the old boy has got to. says this pile of over years Jijirun stash. But it ain't nothing but chocobo feed, hardly worth filching when it comes down to it. Though it might have taken the loot with him. But the only thing missing that was in this chest, according to yon shopkeep, it weren't naught but a pile of Mamolja coinage. And that ain't worth its weight in shite to anyone in this side of the deep. Excepting the Mamolja, that is. No yours and merchant that touched that stuff with a 40 alm barge pole. The chances are it's still some value to the beast. Here, you don't reckon the bastard's gone off to hire himself a lizardman army, do you? There's a band of the scaly buggers hanging around northward, but a Kakiran's one thing and a Mamolja's another. I ain't getting paid enough to go poking my nose in lizard business. I'll head back to Limsa and report as I go. Don't you be getting yourself in trouble now, lass. Bumbayev. Right. It's kind of interesting how I suddenly have like this feeling for this kind of accent. Like, it's ridiculous. Just suddenly it works. Look, debt collectors come to collect Jijirun's debt. Jijirun give Mamolja back the shiny shinies, then good Mamolja protect Jijirun from bad collecting. Collector, yes? Very well, Jijirun, you have a deal. Mamolja protect you from smooth skin. Soldier, cover our retreat. Oh boy. Funky. Yeah, no. We ain't got to do that around here. You seek Jijirun collector? The pirate has him. Mamolja make deal to protect Jijirun from you, and you alone. He say nothing about the pirate. You are not collector, then Mamolja work is done. Jijirun make another bad deal. No wonder collectors are after him. Mamolja make good deal with Jijirun, buy many items, and pay fair price. But when we pay, Jijirun say our money no good, and ask for gil. If Jijirun want gil, he need say so from the start. Mamolja proud warriors, not mind readers. You want Jijirun? Speak with Rat Brother. Maybe he knows where the pirates take him. Fate failed. This is the worst fucking fate ever. You need it for the relic weapon quest. And basically, if you're not standing right on top of it and helping from the start, you will not be able to help. Like, you will not be able to beat this fate. Because the things that you need to protect just die instantly. It's ridiculous and annoying. La Lune. Jijirun did deal with Mamolja and got Mamolja shiny shinies, but Mamolja shiny is no good to pay his back payments. No, oh no. Jijirun collected by collector, that collector a pirate collector, and pirate collectors deter debtors by barreling them in barrels and jettisoning them from jetties. Got to stop Jijirun getting launched into in the lake. Go to Jijirun's shop and stop freebooter booting Jijirun into the wet water. Memorun got arrangements to arrange, but see you there soon. Don't you love going back and forth between this lake? There's one thing that I just kind of hate about Upper Lanoche. Just like, alright, the east side's on one side, and if you want to get to the other side, which happens a lot, then you need to either use a boat or fly over. Whimpering barrel. Well, if it ain't me old darling, look here, lass. Finally got me mitts on the shuriken wretch, and he's about to take the plunge. Seems it be making merry with the Mamolja, but you're never counting on them trying to lumber him with their own dodgy lucre or whatever. And he can't pay your debts with lizard coin, can you, Jijirun? Poor old bugger ain't a bad sort, really. Should have just been a bit more careful drawing up his deals, beastmen. But good intentions don't count for shite in this business. A defaulter's a defaulter, and Blythe's got to do what Blythe's got to do. I thought I'd wash me hands of the pirate life when I went into the collecting racket, but the old way's still come in handy. They pays me a pretty penny to give those as bilk their lenders. Jesus, the old Evo pirate style. Bang him in a barrel and sling him in a briny. Stop. Memorun give you shinies. Many shinies to repayment. There. What's with the other whiskers? Are you saying you'll pay off Jijirun's debt for him? Well, blow me down. There's enough gil here to drag me down a galleon. Alright, this'll cover what the consortium's after, alright? That's an end to that then. Time to let a rat out of his barrel. Jijirun speak to Memorun for a long time, but Memorun pay Jijirun's payments? No speak, sorry. Jijirun not worthy of worthy Memorun. Nothing give in return. Nothing but Jijirun shop. Jijirun shop no more. Jijirun shop, Memorun shop now. No. Memorun no take Jijirun shop. Jijirun keep dealing deals and pay Memorun back bit by bit. Here, ain't you looking to get your hands on his trading post? I thought Yukikirin was all cutthroats when it came to business. If you had his plot, you'd have the whole of April and Nosh under your thumb. And there ain't nothing like a monopoly to push up prices. No. Memorun no want Jijirun shop. Memorun just want to help. Why Jijirun no ask helpful Memorun for helpful help? Jijirun could no face showing Memorun his face. Good Memorun suggests good suggestions, but ignorant Jijirun ignore proposals and propose Memorun go away. Jijirun wrong to wrong Memorun. Feel bad feelings ever since. Jijirun no wrong. Jijirun and Memorun, Jesus, different because Jijirun and Memorun different. Good Jijirun stand up for long-standing customers. Good Memorun like to look for likely place to find new customers. Different ways of working, but both ways can work. Oh, so that's how it is. You were stuck on staying put cause you didn't want to leave your old customer in the lurch, eh? But while your brother's new post started rolling it, picking up all the new custom of the Western Road, your old faithful let you down. Only takes a few big monies. Only takes a few big money deals to go south, and before you know it, you ain't got a pot to piss in. Sorry tale, to be sure. Memorun only set up new shop to show Memorun as good a trader as a good trader Jijirun. If Jijirun not there to motivate Memorun, Memorun got no motivation. Jijirun will always be Memorun's unrivaled rival. You hear that, Jijirun? Your little brother don't have such store in you. And what's better ways there's. And what's better ways there's to thank him for saving your hide than bringing your business back to its feet. Just remember to get him to pay you in gil next time. Jijirun got tears and teary eyes. Jijirun agrees to agreement. Jijirun deal better deals and get better of Memorun. Not as bad enemies, but good rivals. Now that's what I call a deal, and with the both of you backing up the other, I reckon there's no way this one will fall through. Go on then, lads. Get back to your posts, rob your plans, and show Lanosh what you got. There we go. Level up! Alright, it's time to go over to Lambertaint. See what kind of madness this dude's gonna put me through. Last time was interesting, he sent me to the wrong people constantly. If I remember correctly. Like, just everybody kept sending me to the wrong people. Why, yes, I am Professor Lambertaint. We've met, you say? Are you certain about that? Perhaps telling me why you've come will refresh my memory. Ah, I've been expecting these. Still can't quite remember you, but you have my thanks all the same. So all three will attend the symposium. Excellent. I expected their replies, sooner. but better late than never. Sorry. Excuse me, I've gotten ahead of myself. Yeah, I literally skipped the text early, so it's fine. The symposium I speak of is a biannual event that I organize for my students. We gather under one roof to share our research and critique others. Constructively so, of course. Perchance you are familiar with aspect conversion? It is a theory I but recently published, with the aid of an adventurer much like you. Come to think of it anyway, the focus of this symphonium shall be post-aspect conversion. Speaking of which, the hour is nearly upon us, though it seems my pupils have yet to arrive. Oh well, there are papers I can attend to while I wait. Since you have proven yourself an able courier, would you mind taking these flowers to one tavern for me? It's the venue for the symphonium, and I fear it wants for decoration. Lovely flowers. You are still here. Now I must have finished more quickly than I realized. Though to do things swiftly and well is only natural for a mind like mine. Where are my students? It is strange for them to be so late. And what of my big surprise? I presented the original 4 volumes of my latest work, on the properties of aspect conversion. I intend to bequeath them to my students as thanks for their assistance. Once they arrive, anyway. They are awfully tardy. Perhaps I should return to my chambers for the time being. Well, I suppose you are free to go, but if you venture outside Count Drybone, would you keep your eyes out open for my pupils? I'm sure they are fine, but I worry all the same. See the height nor hair of the students. Have you seen any sign of my students outside the camp? Nothing at all. My students must be busy with their research, so busy that they forgot to tell me. The symposium is hereby cancelled. My pupils will have to wait for their... Egads, the books! I left them in a tavern. This is also... could you retrieve them for me? I require a moment. To my eyes, Miss Lady, it is the adventurer who came in search of corrupted crystals. Of the countless taverns throughout the realm that we would cross paths here, tell me, Lynn, what brings you to this place? Symphony has been cancelled on account of our absence? Whatever for? It's to be held tomorrow, not today. Evidently, the professor mixed up the date, hence why he fears we have forgotten all about it. The professor can be ever so slightly scatterbrained, though a genius when it comes to ethereal studies. As if worse hasn't been said of us. Hahasako! What the fuck is his name? People would still think us lunatics had we not come to study under the professor. Indeed, whatever his failings, none of us would be where we are without him. I say we surprise him with a gift of our own, something to show our thanks for all he has done, and to commemorate his latest publication. Hear, hear, and I think we all know what would make the perfect gift. Corrupted crystals. A fine idea if I do say so myself. Can we count on your help as well, then? I must return to Highbridge and prepare a containment vessel for the crystals. You may come and collect it anon. Sometimes I really get surprised at how good this game looks. I'm just like, man, these places are awesome. It's high time you arrived. I completed my preparations a long while ago. We see crystals marked by nary a single mark. Make your way to the center of the burning wall, where stands the finest of formations. Here is a sledgehammer you can use to fracture a cluster once there. And here, a watered pot. Collect within it the shard of crystal, and deliver the lot to Sina. Simple, is it not? I trust you are aware that the nearest path to the burning wall begins at Burgundy Falls. Then I bid you merry mining. You say that, but I don't need that. I can just fly. There we go. And now, rather than flying back, time to teleport back, yes. For I have the money to do so, yes. Welcome back. Did the Mirror Knights give you any trouble? I didn't see any. Well, whatever. Aha, an exquisite pot full of corrupted crystals if I ever saw one. Well, now that everything seems in order, I shall summon the professor for his surprise. What surprise, pray tell? If it was for the symposium, I'm afraid you're too late. Professor Lambertaint. And you, postman, did you ever intend to return what I asked? Why, I ought to. Hold on a moment, Professor. You forgot that the symposium starts tomorrow. Symposium, sorry. We know you can be a bit absent-minded, but above all else, we beg you remember. No student ever skips the symposium. Voila! Corrupted crystals to celebrate your latest publication and to express our gratitude for your constant support. Haha, so that's what you three have been doing. I hardly know whether to laugh or to cry. It just so happens I have prepared something for each of you as well. On the properties of aspect conversion would not exist were it not for you all, and so I thought to divide the volumes between the four of us, that the set would be complete whenever we meet. Your questions, your contributions, your very presence drives me forward, as quickly as a corrupted crystal can change aspects. It matters not where our research takes us, so long as we are of one mind and one purpose. Why don't we meet 4 times a year instead of 2? It would be a pleasure to hear your papers more often, and to present mine own, of course. I must say I'm quite eager to begin experimenting with these crystals. You didn't go to too much trouble obtaining them, did you? Not at all. Lynn saw to the dangerous tasks for the second time, come to think of it. Didn't her efforts serve as inspiration for your research before? Lynn! I knew I had seen you before! Well, no longer shall your contributions go unrecognized. I, Professor Lambertaint, hereby name thee an honorary pupil. Now, my friends, to work. The unsolved mysteries of Ether are waiting to be unraveled. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, get more crystals. Well, they're gonna be useful for crafting, so. Okay, you're level 22. Right. Time to go back to Limbs or Lamenda. Better left unfound. Ah, Lynn, you've come not a moment too soon, Kubo. I have a letter addressed to Landonel over in Count Tranquil that wants for immediate delivery. I hope he isn't inclined to send a reply, though, because there's no return address to be seen. But one task at a time, Kupo. First of all, we, and by that I mean you, must see the letter safely to Landonel's hands. I must warn you, though, rumor has it the good captain of the Sixth Spear has been acting strange of late. Perhaps this letter has something to do with it. At any rate, best not to keep him waiting. Now off you go, Kupo. Well, if it isn't Lynn, it's been too long. Still gallivanting about on endless adventures, I shouldn't doubt. What I wouldn't give to be doing the same. But enough about my suppressed desires. What business brings you here? A letter? Well, what do we have here? This cannot be. It's an invitation from Wastecat to a memorial service for the commander of the Company of Heroes. The commander went missing some 5 years ago, shortly before the calamity. As if in anticipation of his disappearance, he disbanded the company and sent us all our separate ways. It was all so sudden, we knew not what to make of it at the time. Some believed he feared for the lives that would be lost at the hands of primals, others believed he was convinced the calamity would mean our end, and dismissed us that we might enjoy what little time remained. His final request was that, wherever life should lead us, we live up to the words of our company creed. The duty of the strong is to protect the weak. To that end, I returned here to Gridania and joined the Wood Whalers. I've done my best to honor that promise, but if truth be told, I was never truly happy at my post. Often did I dream of fighting at my commander's side once more. And so I have decided to resign from the Wood Whalers. Indeed, I have already made my decision known to my superior. I am but await an official discharge. Once released from my post, I had intended to search for the commander with Wastecat, with whom I had been in contact about my plans. But now this letter arrives with talk of a memorial service. I simply cannot believe it. There's no one stronger, more resourceful. What is more, Wastecat himself agreed to help me find the commander. Why would he do this if he knew that the man had died? Whatever the hell is going on, I will get to the bottom of it. I will go to Wastecat and demand an explanation. And depending on what he says, former comrade or no, I may well spit the bastard on my lands. You'd best be on hands when I talk to him, Adventure, lest I do something I may regret. I shall make my way to Costadal Sol as soon as the matter of my resignation is settled. Pray join me there. I shan't approach Wastecat until you have arrived. Good, you're finally here. Now we can get down to business. You agreed to help me search for the commander, but then you sent me this invitation. What is the meaning of this? Captain Wastecat of the Company of Heroes requests the honor of your presence at the memorial service for... Is this some crude joke? I'm sorry, Landonel, but I've heard no news of the commander, let alone his passing, and I certainly have no plans of holding a service for him. I'm as baffled as you are by this letter. I should like to know who penned it. I see. I'm relieved to hear that you had no part in this absurdity. A great many mysteries yet remain, to be sure, but so long as we can find the commander, I shan't bestir myself over them. I trust I can rely on your aid, old friend. With the commander back at the helm, the Company of Heroes shall be reunited once more, and good riddance to my tedious life as a wood whaler. I believe I have an inkling as to the sender's identity and intent. Knowing this, I cannot in good conscience help you in your search. I'm sorry, my friend. What? This is not what we agreed upon. The letter, the memorial service, what do they matter if we know them to be false? You said you'd help me. You can't simply go back on your word, goddamn you. / sooth. Forsooth. I know full well skewering Wastecat won't get me any closer to finding the commander, but... Look, Landonel, I understand your desire to find the commander. However, I must remind you of your promise to him. You will never live up to your word, chasing after shadows of the past. My promise does not preclude me from searching for the commander. If you will not help me, I will simply find someone who will. It's as though he's reverted to his old savage self. I suppose I shouldn't be surprised. The commander was as a father to him. Truth be told, Landonel's real father was a criminal, or so the story goes. It's sad, really. He was just a child, and yet the townsfolk assumed the worst of him. For the sins of his father, you could say. Or bore the sins of his father, you could say. His poor mother reached the end of her tether. At least that's what they said when they found her hanging from the rafters. Landonal was not completely alone, though. He became fast friends with Ywain, now master of the Lancers Guild in Gridania. They were nigh inseparable back then, but the townsfolk's disdain for Landonal did not cease, and he feared their ire would soon run towards Ywain. Rather than risk the well-being of his dear friend, Landonal abandoned what little remained of his world. Landonal was convinced the world hated him, and returned to feelings in kind. He'd become a monster, that is, until he met the commander, and was taken in by the company. I dare not think what would have happened had they never crossed paths. It was not an easy feat, to be sure, but the commander helped Landonal set aside the anger that had taken control of his life. It was Landonal's love and respect for the commander that brought him peace, but that selfsame love may cost him everything he has achieved. The man who wrote that letter suspected as much, and used this ruse as a memorial service to bring Landonal to me. But I fear he's not like to understand why that letter was sent to him. I realize you were only entrusted with a simple delivery, but it would mean a lot to me if you could keep an eye on him. If he seems to be losing his way, please give him a gentle reminder of our company motto. Knowing him, he will go to Wineport. Whenever he was in trouble, he would always seek out Shamani for advice. Godspeed, friend. Make sure he doesn't hurt himself, or anyone else for that matter. I simply do not understand, Shamani. How could Wastecat put aside our search like that? Does he no longer care for the commander? No longer care, I must disagree. Choosing not to search for the commander and not caring for him are two rather different things. Then what of this so-called memorial service? Wastecat seemed willing enough to help me. But then he read the letter. Whoever sent the accursed thing wants us to give up the search. I suspect your meeting with Wastecat is what the sender had intended. Like as not, your coming here was also anticipated, from everything you've told me. It is clear the man who penned that letter cares a great deal about you, and understands you quite well, to know you would come to us. Who in the seventh hells would be worried about the likes of me? Wastecat said he suspected that he suspected who delivered the missive, but I haven't the faintest idea. It saddens me to hear you say that. We may have gone our separate ways, but in our hearts we are still all of us brothers. That is a weird way to say that. Now tell me, who of our members cared most for you? Who was always there to offer a guiding hand? Why, that could only be the commander. Precisely, and it was out of the desire to see you move forward that he sent the letter to you. Contrary to what it seems, the commander is alive and well, and even now he watches over you. That, I believe, was the message he wished to convey. Ah, I tire of these games. If he's still alive, as you say, where in the seven hells is he? Remember, the duty of the strong is to protect the weak. As if I would ever forget our company words, the commander taught them to me when I first met him. To this day I remember that moment vividly. We were standing atop the point overlooking Costa del Sol. If the commander had meant to verify whether I sought out Wastecat after receiving his letter, that is where he would have been. The odds are slim, I'll admit, but it's the best chance I have of finding him. I must make haste. I wasn't quite finished, if truth be told, but I suppose it cannot be helped. The commander meant that much to him. From wielding a spear to living an honorable life, Landonal learned all that he knows from the commander. Naught gave Landonal greater joy than to meet the commander's expectations, and he went on to distinguish himself among our ranks. After disbanding the company, I believe that the commander continued to watch over Landonal, and upon sensing his growing discontent, he decided to take action and sent a letter. The road has been bumpy, but Landonal has finally arrived at the truth. But the final leg of his journey remains, and I should be grateful if you were to accompany him. Nah, fuck it. Teleport to Costa del Sol! Then, I might have known you would come as well. Behold, my friends, the spear belongs to the commander. Alas, the man himself is nowhere to be seen. Why? Why does he refuse to meet me? Because you are not ready. And by now you want to know the reason why. It took me long enough, but I think I'm beginning to understand now. As he would always tell us, the duty of the strong is to protect the weak. He wanted us to venture out of the realm and live up to those words, each in his own way. Like you, Wastecat, you were a mercenary of unquestionable renown. The world was yours for the taking, yet you chose to stand as the humble protector of Costa del Sol and all who call her home. Shamani had a hand in revitalizing the Bacchus wine industry, and both Uod and Brayflux have become leaders among their people. We serve the realm better as individuals than as a single entity. That is why the commander disbanded our company. Though I never forgot our words, I did not understand them fully until now. Instead of doing my best as a wood whaler, I had my head in the clouds, dreaming of a return to the glory days of old. We did much good for the realm, aye. And we had the time of our lives in the process. But it was past time for us to pass the torch. And the torch, you must agree, has been taken up by a most worthy individual. The realm has no further need of the company of heroes. The commander believes thus, and I agree with his assessment. That is why I chose not to search for him. And neither shall I anymore, as you said, Wastecat. I'm not ready or worthy to face the commander. Huh, what a fool I've been all these years. There's much to be done if I'm to make up for lost time. Commander, if you are watching, you need to worry about me no longer. I will live up to your words and do you proud. This I swear. Your journey takes you far and wide, I believe. Should you happen to cross paths with the commander, please see to it that he knows my mind. And there we go. Quest complete! Alright, anyway, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Just I was playing Final Fantasy XIV. And next episode we're gonna go and do... I think that there are still two more post-Moogle quests left. And then we are done with this entire quest line. Anyway, goodbye.